thought they were, you know, mythological. But the other day, I saw it in real life. I even touched it. Held the sharp, twisty horn, all white and smooth. Never felt anything so smooth. And warm. It looks like it's going to feel cold, like stone. But when you touch it, it's warm. Living warm. Like it has great powers. Magical powers. It was like I turned into the maiden in the picture. What kind of powers do you think a unicorn might have?
I'm sure if there were magic, a unicorn would have it.
Then there must be magic because there are unicorns.
Kimberly, sometimes when we want something to be true and we want it very, very hard, it becomes very real to us. And that is magic, sort of. Maybe you felt that sort of magic?
You think I'm lying, don't you? Grown-ups always think kids are lying.
No, I don't think you're lying, Kimberly. I know that you believe that you saw and touched a unicorn.
Kids don't lie. Not the way adults do. Not for no reason.
I do believe you, Kimberly. When you went to Mr. Gunnarson's, you expected to see a unicorn.
I know I shouldn't have. I didn't think I would get everyone in trouble. I just wanted for everything to be like I was the maiden in the picture again.
And I'm sure that was very meaningful for you, and I do want to hear more about the unicorn later. First, I have to ask you some more questions, okay? And these questions, they might be a little bit embarrassing, so you don't have to answer them if you don't want to, okay? If they make you uncomfortable, just let me know. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know how there are some parts of our bodies that we normally keep covered up? We don't let just anybody touch them. We don't let just anybody see them. We call them private. Do you know what I mean when I refer to private parts?
I think so.
Okay, and why do you think we normally keep our private parts private?
Because of sex? You're going to talk about sex again, aren't you? I had all this stuff in school, you know. Wouldn't you rather I told you about the unicorn? Now that's something you don't see every day.
Believe me, Kimberly, I would much rather be talking about a unicorn, but first I do have to ask you these few questions, okay? So then, sex. What's it all about? In your own words.
It's what married people do when they want to have babies. Except sometimes they're not married, and sometimes they don't want to have babies.
Okay, would that apply to someone, say, your age? Say, you, for instance?
No! I'm only 11.
Yes, you're only 11. But don't you know that sometimes children your age...
Melissa Anderson said that Beverly Johnson did it with Randy Jenkins at camp. She's in Miss Bush's room.
Okay, what do you think Melissa meant by doing it?
You know, it's like what you said about private parts and touching. But Randy Jenkins isn't even that cute.
Yes, touching. There are all different kinds of touching. Like when your mommy or your daddy hugs you, that makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Sure. My mom used to hug me a lot when I was little.
Okay, and how would you feel if someone that you didn't know so well hugged you like that?
Funny.
Exactly. And if someone were to touch your private parts, would that make you feel funny in the same way?
Of course.
Now, last Saturday, did anyone touch you in a way that made you feel funny?
Yes.
A grown-up?
Yes.
A man?
Yes.
Who was that man, Kimberly?
The doctor at the hospital.
No, okay. Besides the doctor, did anyone else touch your private parts that night?
My mom?
Do you know why they took you to the hospital and examined you?
It's because my mom caught me at Mr. Gunnarson's.
And before she came, had Mr. Gunnarson done anything that made you feel funny?
Not really.
What did he do, Kimberly?
Nothing. He didn't even know I was there. Not until my mom came in and started shouting.
Okay, well, was there anyone else at Mr. Gunnarson's house that night? Another man?
No, I didn't see anyone.
Kimberly, it is very, very important that you answer these questions fully and truthfully. Even if you promise someone that you wouldn't tell, this is much more important than that kind of promise. Or if someone has threatened you, I don't want you to be afraid. Okay? You've got a lot of people on your side. We'll protect you.
Yes, ma'am. But about the unicorn...
So, Kimberly, you know... Okay. Sometimes an adult will make a child do something. Something that the child doesn't want. Something that the child knows is wrong.
Adults make kids do lots of stuff they don't want.
that may be so, but let me give you an example. Okay, let me tell you a story. And this is a true story about another little girl almost your age. It's a little girl that I know very well. Okay? This little girl, she lived with her mommy and daddy in a nice house, and she was very, very happy. And next door, there lived a nice old man. At least, she thought he was a nice old man. And every day, he would give her a dime to run to the store and get him something. He couldn't walk very well.
Like Mr. Gunderson?
Yes, yes. And she would bring him his newspapers, or candy, or shaving cream, and he would always give her a dime, and she would always go home and put it in her little piggy bank. And then one day, she went next door to ask the man if he had any errands for her. And he said that he didn't, but he said that he would give her a dime if she would rub his back. So she did. And from then on, she would come over and he would give her a dime and she would rub his back for him. And then one day, the man said that he would give her a whole $1 if she would rub him in other places besides his back. And the little girl didn't want to. She knew it was wrong. And she just really didn't want to do it. And that made the man angry. And he said that he would tell her mommy and daddy and that they would make her give back all the dimes that he had given her. And that frightened the little girl because she didn't have the money anymore. She couldn't give it back.
Why not? You said she put it in her piggy bank.
Yeah, she did, but she spent some of it. And so she ended up doing what the man asked because she was scared not to. But later, she was very, very, very sorry that she did, and she was very sorry that she hadn't told anyone. Even when she was all grown up, she still felt bad about it.
Oh, she's grown up now?
Yeah, but the point is, she could have told someone, anyone, even her parents, but she didn't. She didn't because she thought what she had done was bad. Later, she found out it was the old man that was bad, not her.
Yeah. But about the unicorn.
So, Kimberly, sometimes when someone does something to us, we feel bad about ourselves. And when someone, even an adult, makes you do something against your will, something you know is wrong, it doesn't make you a bad person. You know, it doesn't make it your fault. You shouldn't feel bad about yourself if it's not your fault. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. Like suppose you think that someone's giving you something, but it turns out they're really just showing it to you, but it's something you really need, that's really important, so you take it anyway. It's not really stealing because it's not your fault. You thought they gave it to you.
That could be more. But I don't really see how that has to do with the story.
Don't you see? If the girl had the magic unicorn, then the unicorn powers would have made her powerful, and she wouldn't have had to do what the man made her.
Kimberly, I told you that was a true story. It's not about magic, and it's certainly not about unicorns.
Yes, but the unicorn.
Okay. We'll talk about the unicorns. So, did you actually find the unicorn that you went to see?
I'm not going to tell you. Not if you don't care, not if you don't want to believe me.
Okay. I'm sorry, Kimberly. You know what? That's enough questions for right now. I need to talk to your parents anyway. You can go, okay? We'll talk about the unicorn later.
They're not my parents, you know.
They're not.
I'm the princess of Sparrow Island, and my father's the king of Sparrow Island, and my mom's just my mom.
He's back! That man, that pervert up there! In his own house, they must have set him loose.
I know, Mrs. Kent. He posted bond this morning.
They can't do that, can they? After what he did to my daughter?
Evidently, the judge feels he's not a threat. But should he try to contact you, try anything, threaten you, just call the police and they'll pick him back up again.
But what about when I'm at work? What if he comes down here when I'm not here? How could I protect her? I have to work.
Kimberly's alone during the day?
Evenings. A waitress? I don't get home until after midnight most nights. Gordon usually stays home and watches Kim. If that man shows up while Gordon's here and I'm not, that would be even worse. He wouldn't call the police. Gordon takes care of things himself.
No, it won't come to that. I'm sure Mr. Gunderson wouldn't dare.
Gordon's been so